This video is brought to you by the 280 Group, optimizing product management.
Hi, I'm Brian Lawley. I'm the CEO of the 280 Group and also author of the #1 best-selling Amazon book, Product Management for Dummies. I've got my co-author Pamela Schure here. And Pam, you're going to tell our viewers if there were 3 things they could do to be a great product manager, what are those three things you'd recommend?
First of all, I would definitely support anything I said with data. If you go in and talk to your team and you say, hey, I've got 73% of my customers who really want this feature. That's very different from, I talked to a couple of people and they think it might work. That's not going to fly. Your goal really is to keep your team on board with your ideas and build those features with a lot of enthusiasm because they know that they've got those data points. You were telling me something a couple of minutes ago about the amount of features that you always kept in mind.
Sure. Joe, I always have between 5 and 10 data points about the market and about customers because you can't argue with data. You can't argue with facts. And engineers love facts and data. And when you present something using data, they buy into it 110%. When you present something that's sort of, well, my gut feeling tells us this, completely different. You won't get their support.
And you train your engineers to really not work on anything unless they have that data to support it. It also protects you when you have executives that come in and try and impose something if there's no data to support it. So we talked about 2 things. We talked about the data and we talked about keeping your team on your side. Mm-hmm. The third thing is definitely keeping those data points focused on your customers. Don't leave them out of any discussion. They are in there in that room with you. If you do those 3 things, it's going to make a huge difference in your effectiveness as a product manager.
So what's a counterexample of that where you wouldn't necessarily be focusing on the customers, but something might creep into the feature set, for instance?
Usually what happens is you're sitting in a meeting and somebody around the table says, you know, I think this is a great idea. And you have what we call 4-wall thinking. You're just focused on the conversation that's occurring in the room, but that customer never showed up. And it's just the point of view of 1 or 2 people and not really the point of view of your customers.
So you kind of convince yourselves that you have the next killer feature, but you never actually go out and validate it, and you might build it and
they won't come.
They won't really care. Yeah, that's happened to me a few times in my career. Well, thanks so much, and please buy a copy of our book, Product Management for Dummies, and see 280group.com for training and our free resources.